everyone, and welcome to another video. Today we're going to go ahead and review a fragrance that was released in the year of 1959. The fragrance is called Vetiver from the house of Guerlain. Now this fragrance, again, it's an old fragrance, it's been around a while, and the first caveat that I want to go ahead and give you is be very careful of fakes. There are a ton of fakes that are kind of swimming around with this sucker, so just beware. Make sure that you're buying from a license or a retail place. You're going to see a wide range of prices basically for this thing. I've seen it as low as $30 and as high as $95 plus. There are a lot of people who, or not a lot, but a couple people who are selling, quote-unquote, the original formulations of this sucker. And, you know, when you think about it, since 1959, almost of course it has to have been reformulated at least once or twice. So that's a little bit of caveat. Now, which version that I'm reviewing, I actually don't know. I got a whole bunch of samples for it, and that's what I'm actually doing off my review off of, rather than, you know, the full actual bottle. So that is a little bit of a disclaimer right off the top. Right? So let's go ahead and get right into the actual fragrance itself. Now the notes are listed on the screen, and the big key to take away here obviously is Vetiver. This fragrance is a Vetiver monster. Now the other fragrance that I actually got this confused with was a Vetiver Frozen. I always thought that I had Guerlain's Vetiver the entire time, and it was only until I think either earlier this year or last year, I forgot when it was, that I actually finally realized, oh my god, this is actually Vetiver Frozen and not the original Vetiver. Now, I'm actually going to include a link to this here somewhere, or you can do a search for Vetiver Frozen and you'll see my review on this one. This one is a dirty Vetiver. This Vetiver is a dirty Vetiver. It's more of a down-to-earth Vetiver. It has a little bit of hints of lemon, and it does have a little bit of hints of tobacco that is kind of in it. So if I was to kind of list the notes off, I would say Vetiver first and foremost, tobacco next, and then a little bit of citrusy. I'm not even going to call it lemon, more like a citrusy type of a note to it, which gives it a very dirty feel, especially when you couple that tobacco with that Vetiver. It gives it a dirty feel. It gives it a manly feel to it. So it comes off as, you know, a very manly fragrance, but at the same time, it doesn't necessarily have this harshness that I find most other Vetiver fragrances do. Encre Noir is one. I always found that that one is a little bit too harsh for my taste. This one is, along those lines, aggressive, but it's not as harsh as something like that, which is nice. But it's still not my cup of tea. And by not my cup of tea, I mean, I'm beginning to understand now that I like Vetiver fragrances that have more of that citrusy, fun kind of tinge into it. So Vetiver Frozen, to me, absolute gem of a fragrance. This one, it's a good fragrance, but I wouldn't put it up there with a Vetiver Frozen or with some of the other Guerlain or some of the other citrusy Vetivers, if you will. Tom Ford's Grey Vetiver is one. That's probably one of the quote-unquote darkest Vetivers I can get. Even that one is more on the light side. So this one, you really get Vetiver, and it dries down. It begins to resemble a little bit, as it dries down, it gets a little bit more of the citrus, but then tobacco kind of takes over and it becomes a Vetiver. It just remains to be a Vetiver tobacco scent. It gets a little powdery at times, but that's pretty much it for this scent. Now, I go about 2-3 sprays on this one, and this is a great fragrance that you can wear year-round. The toughest part of this fragrance is figuring out where to wear it. I have a hard time wearing these dirty Vetivers or these earthy Vetivers out on different occasions. I don't feel comfortable wearing them to work just because they're so dirty and aggressive that, you know, it's really making a statement wearing them to me. I don't like wearing them casually, but the best place that I would kind of wear it, I would definitely have to say work, if anything, to wear it. It's more of a mature fragrance, so people that are older, this might be a fragrance for you. I think this couple really well with that older gentleman type of a skin type and type of a vibe that it's letting off and coming through. The performance on this one is good. It, you know, projects pretty well, leaves a pretty decent scent trail, and it lasts a good amount of time, at least 8+ hours on your skin, so it's no slouch in terms of the actual performance. Now, compliment-wise, I did not get any compliments with this one, and people thought that it was okay. Some people actually did not like it when I had them smell it, so it's really one of those fragrances that you're going to either love or you're going to hate, and it's really because of the way that that Vetiver is actually done. So I'm going to go ahead and give this fragrance a rating. I give this fragrance a rating a 7 out of 10. Now, I said a lot of things that are not necessarily positive towards it, but at the end of the day, I do think that this is a good fragrance. I'm not giving this a 7 out of 10 because it's Guerlain. I'm giving it a 7 out of 10 because at the end of the day, it still is quality in my opinion. I just don't like it. I just don't like these type of dirty vetiver fragrances. So if you're a fan of vetiver, especially a fan of the more aggressive vetivers, go for this one. You're definitely going to like this one. If you're a fan of Aqua Noir, try this one out. This one will be right up your alley. If you're a fan of Sycamore, it's not as aggressive as Sycamore, but it's along those lines. Chanel Sycamore, give this one a try out. It's along those lines. And that tobacco note really gives it a nice little tinge to it that really comes across as classy. So that's definitely what I'm going to say with that. So if your vetiver is not your thing, obviously this fragrance is not going to be for you. Alright? So that's pretty much it. Let me know what your thoughts are on. Thank you guys. Take care of yourselves, and you guys have a great day.